Oh, it's recording. That's awkward. I think I remember hitting the record button, but at the same time I don't. Anyways, I got back from my appointment around noon. It is now 3:51. As soon as I got up late. I set my alarm for 10 o'clock in the morning, and I was supposed to leave at 10 in the morning. So the goat came home and woke me up. He's like, "Wife, you gotta get up. It's time to leave." And I was like, "Why?" Because, I stayed up late again. Really late. And, I think I got like 4.5 hours of sleep, which is technically more than I usually get. I sleep at really awkward times and I don't sleep consistently. So when I say I'll go to sleep from like midnight to about, or I'm sorry, no, 2 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock in the afternoon, people are like, "Oh, that's a lot of sleep. What are you talking about? You're still getting sleep." You have to understand that my sleep is very inconsistent while I am sleeping. I don't get a whole lot of REM sleep. I don't stay asleep the whole time. I do a lot of waking up, going to sleep. So my sleep is extra terrible, and people are like, "Oh, you sleep until 11, you're fine." I'm like, "No, I only actually sleep for an hour." Anyways, I'm sassing. I'm being salty. But what the heck was I? Oh, so we went to my appointment. I wasn't late at all. Like, I was late for checking in early, but by the time I got in there and gave my ID to the person, I looked behind me and I was technically 2 minutes late, or I'm sorry, 1 minute late. On my phone it was 2 minutes, but I was right on time. And the nutritionist said that the clocks were fast, so she's like, "You're actually on time." I'm like, "Okay." I got a good couple of like booklets, like a thick packet. I have a website that I can use that I would have never found on my own. I have this really big chart thingy of what I can. It's basically not a what you can or can't eat. She told me, she's like, "Don't cut things from your diet completely. Like, don't just cut things out because it's going to be worse. Don't put yourself on an extremely restrictive diet unless, you medically have to be." She's like, "Just watch your portion control. Drink more water." She suspects that the reason why I'm very hungry throughout the day is because, one, I'm not drinking enough water, which I'm not. Thankfully, we just bought 2 cases of water, of these things, because they're so cheap. But we also have a water filter too, so I get like extra use out of it. Mike hates when I refill these water bottles. He's like, "That's so disgusting." And like, I wash them. He's like, "No, the plastic will kill you." I'm like, "Oh well, I save a couple of bucks." But what was I saying? Oh, she's like, "Drink more water and eat more vegetables. If you're still hungry, after a meal or whatever, go back for vegetables because they're the things that are going to fill you up. You're not eating things with the proper nutrients to make you feel full." And I was like, "Okay, I guess that makes sense because the things like cereal that I'm eating are good, but I'm still feeling full, not feeling full after I'm eating it." So she's like, "Yeah, just, you can eat more of a certain thing." So, and she also suggests, instead of eating 3 full meals a day, that for me it might be beneficial that, if I'm still feeling that crazed hunger, that, every 2 hours I can eat something. So she suggests to eat something every 2 hours, like snacks, but it's kind of like an extension of your, like, breakfast. We'll have like toast and like some of the things that were like that I never thought would be on there is steak and eggs and potatoes and a piece of toast for breakfast. And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, that's you can eat things, but what people don't understand is the portion control and certain things, you should eat less of, like potatoes, your starches, corn. I thought it was just like a joke that corn was like an empty calorie or like a starch or something. And she's like, yeah, just eat less corn. Eat just a little bit of less potatoes. You can have fried potatoes. Is that a thing? Like, I guess French fries are fried potatoes. She's like, you can eat that stuff, but leave it to a quarter of the plate, I think it was. And she's like, and that's it. If you want more food, go for something else. So she really helped me a lot. And we had to talk about Rick and Morty because when I was trying to schedule my appointment to come back, she's like, so she's like, just being curious, I guess most doctors, pleasantries for the conversation. She said, where are you going? And I was like, oh, it's just a convention. And she's like, what kind of convention? I was like, normally when I deal with adults or adulty adults, people that don't partake in anything more extravagant than Game of Thrones, and that's not an insult because Game of Thrones is cool, but I'm saying like people that don't venture out too far in their viewing pleasures, don't know what anime is. They don't really do video games. They think that's more, just for kids, which is fine. And she's like, is it like cosplay? I'm like, you know what cosplay is? And she's like, yeah, my husband's super into it, so I'm not a super nerd. I'm more of like a Harry Potter, Rick and Morty kind of fan, kind of nerd. And I was like, oh, thank God I'm in good hands. So we just kind of laughed. So she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just being nosy. I'm like, no, it's totally cool because I have no problem talking to no end about cosplay and nerdy stuff. Do you know who I am? I was like, I kind of feel like I give off that vibe of brightly colored hair, anime and comic book pins, comic book shirt. My purse has like anime stuff and horror movie stuff all over it. So I feel like I give off that vibe of I like anime. I love having colored hair, and I love having short colored hair. This is a tangent, but it makes me feel like I'm a video game character, and I love it. Blue hair makes me feel the most like a video game character, but I like this too. And just before I went to go get the mail, I'm pointing like off screen, like, can you see that? No. I went to go get the mail and I'm pointing to my window because outside is my mailbox. And my neighbors who were coming out from their car were like, oh, I love your hair. How'd you get that way? And I'm just like, recognition for something that was like some box dye. No, I love my across the hallway neighbors, whatever, that's what I'm going with. I love my across the hallway neighbors because the lady that lives there is an older lady, and she sews, and then she's like, yeah, I've seen your sewing machine, and just let me know if you have any like questions. And I'm like, okay. I got a message from the guy who I was going to do a trade with from Instagram. And he was, just asking if I was okay because of the weather that we're having here in Texas. Just a side note, personal thank you to anybody who is able to go down to Houston and help those people that are in trouble. Major props to you. Me and the goat are going to try to prepare as best as we can because it looks like the storm is malingering there. Malingering? Is that the word for a storm? It's just, no. It shouldn't be there. No. Move on its way. However, it's transformed into a tropical storm and will be headed our way, but it looks like we're only getting the edge of the storm You know how they have like the like vortex thingy? I don't know what you would call it. I'm not a weather person, but the like little vortex of color, and then it moves. Like the edge, so like my pinky, like let's say I am the corner of my shelf right here, my white shelf. Like let's say I'm the corner and this is the storm. It would probably be like right there is how much we get, and my whole hand is the storm, so probably just like that. And it's, did I say it was a tropical storm now? So there's that. That's pretty much all that's updated. You know, if you are in the Houston area or are able to donate, Markiplier's doing, I think he's doing partially charity to people in Houston. I know he's also doing charity for sexual assault victims, and I'm highly tempted to buy one of those shirts for both of those reasons. I don't know if I have the money to do that right now because I made a really, really big purchase recently, and it doesn't even feel real. Like, I don't want to tell you guys, but it doesn't even feel real. It's something that I've been wanting for a really long time. I have talked about it a little bit, but I'll do a whole video on that. But oh, one more thing before I go, because this video is already very gabby. I started cutting out the pieces of my Eda bag. Excuse me. Right there. And of course, 2 seconds later, I was messing around with the doll trying to get it to stand, and I dropped my Mountain Dew on one of the pieces. So I don't know if I should wash it. I probably should, but the problem is that this is the one that has my markings on it. So I'm gonna have to go in and mark the other one too, and this was such a pain in the butt because of the stupid lines. I need to stop whining and just go wash it. And then if I wash it now, I can start working on the bag. Yeah. But that's not really what I said. I said the mother of all swear words. Before I go, the doll that I was standing up, back to what I was trying to say before. He messaged me, asked me if I was okay, which I was, and thank you for the concern if you watch my videos. I've been feeling super loved with people asking me if I'm alright. I love it. I'm okay. Thank you for your concern. It makes me feel amazing. But he said that, you know, he was going to send out the box today, either today or tomorrow, so we can get this this trade going. And the trade is I will do a spooky face-up on one of his dolls, and he will give me a Hunter Huntsman. Now, as soon as I made that deal with him, I saw on eBay that someone was selling a nude Hunter Huntsman for really, really cheap. Now, in a previous video I said I wanted 2 Hunter Huntsmans, but I think he's only going to give me 1 for the doll face-up, which is fine. I'm a new face-up artist. I don't have a whole lot of experience, so that's why I accepted the trade, because this is my first time doing it for someone else, and I don't think it's worth a whole lot, and he got these dolls at the thrift store, so he did not have to pay a whole lot for them, so that's why I feel more justified in doing this. That and it's definite practice, and if he doesn't like something, or if he has some like tips for me, that would be awesome. Anyways, technically I would like a small army of Hunter Huntsmans, because he's one of my favorite Ever After High dolls, boy dolls, and I want more boy dolls, and he is just awesome. So I found one, and then I found the 2-pack, and I bought both of them. I got the nude doll in today. This is him. I'm trying to train his hair to go the other way. He's got a little bit of scuffing right there, and that is literally the only thing that's wrong with him. So he was nude, but he came with his bracelet, which is cool because I love the leather thick bracelets like these. I think they're super awesome, but he's in really good condition. He doesn't have any marks on all over his face. It just looked like someone had played with him and then wanted to get rid of him and just took off his clothes, which is fine. It just stinks because I need shoes for him. Shoes for dolls are really hard to find. My Superman doll is without shoes right now because I can't find anything that fits his giant honkin' feet, because Ken's shoes don't fit. Okay, this video is really, really long. Like I usually do in my videos, if I have anything major that I've done throughout the day that I need to show you guys, I'll post it now. If not, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and I'm signing out.